my internet friends. Okay, so you know how before when we would start streaming or stop streaming, you'd always have to like remind me like, hey, like push record. Or hey, like unmute us. I found a new tick. Now that we're going YouTube live, I found a new thing I'm very bad at.
And what's that?
And that is at the end. I think like at the end of the last time we laughed about how bad it was. But whenever I click in streaming, I'm like, okay, my job here is done. And then it's like, are you sure? And I just ignore the second half of the question.
Oh,
so it's us just like staring,
still talking?
and it's like, oh, I actually.
And it's recorded?
Mm-hmm. And it's more or less just like me. We're not saying anything. We're very much just like posed like, thanks. And it's me staring and like me like open mouth, like full, like leaning back, trying to read. Like, what am I looking at? What do I see here?
So when I'll watch for that pop up.
Please do.
Are you sure pop up?
It does. It's basically just like I just assume. I took it as like I mean what I say, and when I say I'm done streaming, I mean I'm done streaming, and they're just like, but are you sure? And I'm not ready for that second half of the question, so I'm sitting there staring at it like, are we done? And the answer is always no, we are not, and then I always fail. So I just want to be
now
like,
we know.
I'm human. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm like this, but like when you see me at the end doing this, like, give me some grace. Give me a little bit of grace.
This is still fresh. This is still new.
At what point is it no longer new? I think we're like a month. We're there.
This is the month. This is the fourth.
No, we started in March.
Sure?
Maybe not. No, maybe we started.
April's just a grace month. May will be on it.
Who even knows?
May's a new month.
It's gonna be May.
Do you know I went to like 7 NSYNC concerts when I was little?
Really?
Huge NSYNC
So you were an NSYNC person,
huge NSYNC
not a Backstreet Boys?
I mean, I still listen to them, but let's be honest, NSYNC was way better.
I mean, I don't know that I was club one or the other. Like, I wasn't cult one or the other. I was an equal opportunity boy bandist.
Perfect. Yeah. Oh, and I love 98 Degrees too.
I never got into them.
Oh, man, that's a shame. Their Christmas album is really good.
So before we get started, guys, we're still in the pre-chat. If you're like, why the heck are they talking about boy bands? Well, number one is because you're not asking any questions yet. So honestly, this is on you. Mariah says March 29th was the first live stream.
Yes.
We're 3 days short of 1 month. 3 days short of 1 month.
This is all of our kinks. We're getting out now.
That's it. That's fair. So before, again, we're right now currently in the Medicare pre-chat. So for those of us who are joining us, waiting for the 10 o'clock hour for us to actually start today's topic, first and foremost, my name is Olivia.
And I'm Carrie Vogt.
You're not going to do this with me?
Sorry. Sorry. I was watching this frame go in and out.
That is
when
true.
You did that, I was distracted.
I'm framing my face, and our framing of the webcam can't keep up. But again, something that we wanted to talk about, we just did the pre-chat where we just kind of like discuss some things here and there and kind of talk about some things before the actual topic happens. Something that Carrie mentioned that she's getting a lot of feedback right on is the United Healthcare rate increases that were just announced and what's going on with that. So again, for those of you guys who understand United Healthcare, just again put it out there since I know you're getting a lot of feedback from your clients on it. United Healthcare has not had a rate increase for the last year and a half. Their last rate increase was in January of 2021. So it's been a year and a half since their rate increases. Here in Missouri, we saw a larger than normal, still single digit, but like we're used to United Healthcare having like a 2.5% increase or 4% increase, and it was larger than that. So again, I know you mentioned that you're having a lot of clients who are on United Healthcare because of the stability who feel like they are jumping ship. Have you done any math on like how much money it's costing somebody right now?
How much is the increase?
Yeah.
It's typically $10.
$10. Yep. Interesting.
They're all my fresh 65-year-olds that have called so far that I helped, within the last 6 months. Mm-hmm. And I think, 6 months ago it was, man, the Part B jumped that much, and now they're like, oh my gosh, my premium's going up $10. Like, what else is out there? And again, it's bringing up the question of, should I go to Medicare Advantage? Mm-hmm. Anytime I feel like there's that rate increase and you're on original Medicare with the supplement, we revisit that. Well, do we want to stay on original Medicare or do we want to go Medicare Advantage?
Yeah. And honestly, like, to hear you say it's all your new people, that doesn't surprise me at all because it's the first kind of time they're experiencing this.
Right.
And so, like, United Healthcare, for individuals who have been on Medicare and kind of know how it works, that you get an annual rate increase. It was, in some areas, it was, 7 to 10%. And a lot of them are thinking, like, okay, well, that's not bad at all. Especially, and talking to your clients about, like, hey, this is the first one they've had in a year and a half. So people who are experienced and understand, have been on Medicare and are kind of have had rate increases in the past are like, oh,
they're used to it.
They're used to that. There's like, okay, well, this is, they might be a little like, this is bigger than what I thought it was going to be. But like a little conversation about it is like, okay, that's not terrible.
So is 2.5 typical? Is that what you said for United Healthcare?
For United Healthcare. Now, I will say this. United Healthcare in the past has very much just been like 2.9% rate increases was across the nation. Missouri's always higher because Missouri is just unhealthy because we have the Missouri anniversary. Yeah, Missouri always has way larger rate increases than most other states do. So, like, we're a little jaded, and of course, we kind of see carriers do this, but other states not as much so. And so in other states, you're seeing rate increases. And even still in other states, you're still with Mutual. Traditionally, we'll do about 3%. This time, they're doing like 4.5% in some states. So it's still not huge.
Right.
But again, it's just bigger than what you would expect from United Healthcare.
What was the rate increase?
In Missouri or in other states?
In Missouri.
It was like, I think like over 7%.
Was it 7?
Yeah, it was like close to 8%, which again, like we're seeing a lot of carriers come out with 10%, especially on that Plan G that's getting affected. So I think it's really interesting. Again, like my, beat of the drum is like, United Healthcare, this is the first rate increase they've had in a year and a half. It's larger than what we're used to, but it's not larger compared to the industry. I think it's very interesting that your brand new people are the ones that are like,
maybe, and I haven't gotten any calls yet, at least from seasoned Medicare beneficiaries, but maybe they're coming. I don't know.
I also love the fact that, like, you've trained, because so many clients, when they feel that uncomfortableness with price, they start shopping on their own. So how do you, like the fact that you're getting phone calls of people being like, let's talk about something else. I mean, I think that just contributes to, like, how you train your clients.
I always tell them, like, there is no dumb question. If you get anything from the carrier that you have a question about, if you get something that you're unsure if it's spam or if it's, real, like, reach out to me. Don't give your number to anybody.
Sure.
Don't give out your information. Don't call Medicare.
Yeah.
So I try to do that.
Yeah.
Not
sometimes it works.
But yeah.
Sometimes it works.
Right.
So I'm making sure. It looks like we're freezing. Again, guys, I appreciate any patience.
Did I kick something?
No, 'twas I. I think it's actually just our internet connection and our computer. So bear with us, guys, as far as the actual. That was a really interesting freeze frame. I think it's calmed down. I think we're there. Okay, so again, bear with us, guys, as far as some technical issues go. However, it is time for the Medicare Cafe to actually begin. So welcome, everybody, to the Medicare Cafe. Today, you are joined, I say today and every Tuesday, you're joined by your hosts. My name's Olivia Richardson.
And I'm Carrie Vogt.
I was going to do this again, but the camera really doesn't like whenever I frame my face. They're like, girl, I'm doing
the internet to mess up.
You're
breaking the internet.
So we appreciate you guys today. Today's topic, if you caught us on social media and what we're doing, today is actually an Ask Me Anything. What that means is that any questions you have for myself or Carrie, feel free. You have two options to ask us question. Number one, our texting line is right here. That text directly to the Medicare Cafe host yourself. We're reading your text messages live, so feel free to interact with us that way. Or go ahead and comment on the YouTube stream. Yes, it's saying that we are not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So again, guys, please bear with us. It does seem like we're having a little bit of computer error. We'll get that worked out. But again, guys, to reiterate, today is an Ask Me Anything. So please make sure you are texting.
Anything on your mind.
So it can be anything.
Bands.
Boy bands. I can go crazy on some boy band conversation.
If you've had clients with the AARP rate increase, to continue that conversation, sorry, we were talking about that on the pre-chat. Two of them were like, I also have to pay the AARP membership.
Oh, yeah, and it's $16 for a household, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or $12 if you want to do the auto renewal.
Sure.
And that was another thing that they're just like, I don't want to pay that. I know it's $12, but things add up.
Now let me ask you this: are these your more affluent clients, or are these your more low income clients?
Oh, affluent ones.
And I think that's something that's really interesting to
They're
think of.
sometimes the biggest penny pinchers.
I know. And everybody's like, well, all these wealthy people, they want to pay a meds up because of this and that. And it's like, well, that may have used to be the conversation. But like a lot of them, again, the more of your affluent clients are the ones that pay very close attention to their finances.
Right. That's how they got to be affluent. You know, they are smart with their money.
So a couple questions again. We are getting a couple questions coming in, as well as again some questions that were asked on social media. So again, Carrie is running our text message, but one of the
text
away. One of the questions that did come in was actually referring to virtual seminars because COVID did a lot of really interesting things, including making face-to-face impossible in a lot of areas. And so there was a huge growth in wanting to do virtual seminars, and how exactly does that work? And honestly, Carrie, don't you do virtual seminars?
So yes and no. I don't. So I used to do open to the public in-person seminars pre-COVID. I tried doing a few virtual, and I didn't have much success.
Really?
The virtual ones that I've had success with have been for a company.
So much more
doing
targeted.
lunch and learns. Yeah. Like Edward Jones or something. You know, they would put on an educational event for their clients, and I would do that virtually. But I haven't really done. Somebody on my team did a not YouTube Live, Facebook Live, like Medicare 101 seminar.
How did that go?
He said it was very hard. Personally, if you're not used to, all this and the questions coming in live, he said that was very difficult. But I think he had good attendance.
Interesting. And again, I would say that's separately, doing a Facebook Live is very separate than a seminar, because I feel like a seminar is much more formal. And I don't know that formal is the way that I want to word it. So I just want to, again, reiterate some of the things you said. Just doing an open invitation. I'm doing a Medicare 101. Here's the link to join. That didn't work in your experience. How many of those did you do?
I think I did 2, and I did that at the very beginning of COVID.
Interesting.
And so
when people were probably thirsty for that and things were happening and everything's were really scary. Now, I do again want to reiterate that I think of really pointed in saying let me partner with somebody to do this. Let me partner with, having your financial planning people and saying hey, I'm going to do this for your clients. You did get much more higher attendance.
Yep. It absolutely did.
How were those advertised? Both ways. How did you advertise the ones that didn't work, and how did you advertise the ones that did?
The virtual ones that I put on myself, I just did Facebook, and I reached out to a lot of my current clients that are advocates for me, and told them, hey, if you have any friends or know anybody that would be interested, promote this for me, kind of. And then I think Edward Jones, they basically just sent out a snapshot to all their age appropriate. I think it was 50 plus.
Interesting.
And those were probably the most well-attended virtual ones.
No, that makes a ton of sense. So again, virtual trainings, they can be a thing, and the experience that I'm seeing, virtual trainings can be a thing. The biggest thing is going to be consistency. So that's why I like to do the YouTube Lives better, because they're smaller, they're shorter. Facebook will actually present it or actually advertise it for you, because it'll notify people when you go live on it. And again, people can hop on, hop off. It takes way less of investment on your end. And so again, versus doing a virtual seminar, which can work, I would agree that saying do one for a referral partner and have those be very pointed for specific things and specific people. Other than that, I like the Facebook Live idea.
Absolutely.
So it looks like we got another question.
Yep, we got one. It said, my United Healthcare MedSup client had a rate increase at his anniversary on 5/1 from $211 to $221. Then notice of another rate increase on 6/1 for $239. I feel that makes me as an agent look bad with this rapid fire increase.
Yeah, Debbie. And Debbie, you might let us know what state you're in, because again, a lot of these states will have it depends if you're an issue age or an attained age state, if you are going to have rate increases due to an increase of age and things like that. And a lot of that is, again, you can't help that as the agent. The carriers, again, because of actuaries, have to make those adjustments. A lot of that is just kind of setting the expectations. But again, to get those back to back is, hard to have that conversation about. I will also
Absolutely.
say that Deft research actually shows that people start shopping when they receive a $25 when their MedSup premium has increased by $25.
25 is
That's kind of that threshold of that magic number of when they start shopping. So the biggest thing is, again, setting the expectations, but don't come at them like the sky is falling, because you don't want to constantly have to shop your business for your clients.
And I feel like I understand how that could make you look bad as the agent. In that situation, I would just still sit them down, comfort them, and say, hey, these are the other options that are out there. Maybe there is something cheaper, but maybe there's not. But at least you are
there for them
and reassuring them that, United Healthcare has one of the largest Medicare footprints. Like, they are, you're paying for that comfort of that trusted brand.
Ooh, I love that.
So do
that
things
nice.
that you can to assure them of that rate increase.
Nailed it. Carol asked the question. She says, in Missouri, if someone has a MedSup Plan G and they want to go to a Plan N, are there any companies that will do that without underwriting? So essentially what you're talking about, for those that are agents that are outside of Missouri, Missouri has a very different rule. We go by policy anniversary date for Medicare supplements. State like California, now Illinois, Nevada, Idaho, they go by birthday rule. So other states will say you can go from a like to a lesser plan, with some variations on those rules. Missouri says you must go, or carriers must allow, like plan to like plans, so from an F to an F, a G to a G, so on and so forth. Now I will say, Carol, most companies, in fact, there have been companies who in Missouri who have tried to go the like to lesser route, and quite frankly lost their butts on it.
Like, I was gonna say, I don't remember that.
It was a company called Everest did that. Anthem was going to do that and quickly said bail. NatGen was another one that was going to, and quickly their actuarials were like, no, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not going to say it doesn't exist. I don't know of a company that will allow that, except for United Healthcare. United Healthcare allows what they call internal plan toggle, to where if you have a Plan F with United Healthcare, as long as you stay in the plan, you can toggle to a different plan, upper or lower. So you can go from an F to an N or a G to the N. The only exception to the United Healthcare
You mean
toggle,
without underwriting?
Without underwriting, but it has to be an internal replacement. The only exception to that is you cannot toggle to a Plan G. You can go from a G to an F to an N to an F, all of that, but you cannot toggle to a G. So if you are talking to somebody who's on a Plan G, they want to go to an N, you can get in with United Healthcare, Missouri anniversary them from their current Plan G to a UHC Plan G, and then the following month, toggle them into a Plan N. Because United Healthcare is a rare company that allow you to do an internal replacement without underwriting.
Just nothing to
Not
a
2G,
G.
correct.
Was it before F was phased out? Do you know if it was
They
they just couldn't do to an F?
No,
Or has
they
it
could
always
allow
just been G?
It's old. It actually was just recently. I say just recently, like in the last couple years, did they stop the 2G rule. But other than that, it was free game. As long as you stay within United Healthcare, do what you want. But the only difference now is that you cannot toggle anything to a G. Yes.
So to answer your question, yes. If
UHC.
it's United Healthcare, you can go from Plan G to Plan N.
Mm-hmm. But you have to be internal. So
You have to already be with UHC Plan G.
Go fast hands. I recently just watched I watched the new Batman with emo Twilight star Edward Cullen. And they did a lot of like gang and now I'm all like, man, I'm Batman.
Or Shooter McGavin.
I'll take either. I see we have some more questions.
Let's see here.
Let's see. Okay. Well, moving on again to another question that I got. In addition to again having to do those virtual seminars, another one that I got again. I'm like, man, you're talking to the right person. Is actually asking about referral partners and how do you build referral partners? Which essentially like we're talking to like the queen.
This is my bread and butter.
This is what you do. You have, and again, to clear the air, for those of you who don't know or haven't listened to Carrie in the past, Carrie's referral partners actually set the appointments for her. So
not all of them, but a lot of them.
There you
go. A lot of them.
So tell me a little bit, like, what would you say are, like, the most important things to building those referral partners?
Number one is be open-minded, that literally it could be anybody and everybody that could be a referral partner.
Love that.
Don't be closed-minded. My personal, like, most successful referral partners have been financial advisors, and I can talk all about that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But when I first started out, one of the best things that I did was I joined a BNI group.
What is a BNI group?
BNI, I think it's an international. I think it stands for Business Networking International, maybe. That's
Nice.
terrible. I don't know what it is.
I mean, that
They
sounded
are
good. I believe you.
very expensive.
Okay.
They're very expensive, but I think starting out, that was one of the best things I did, because basically it is a group that you meet with of 30 to 40 people, at least here locally, that's what it is. 30 to 40 different professionals. So nobody can cross, there can't be 2 Medicare agents. There can't be 2 financial advisors in one group. There can't be 2 realtors.
Got it.
But you are in front of 30 different professionals every week talking about your business.
Interesting.
And so that opened my eyes that, you know what, one of my best referral partners in there was a Mary Kay consultant.
Really?
Who are most of the Mary Kay clients?
Nope, that makes sense. Yeah.
60 plus. Another great referral partner from that group that was very eye-opening was a 20-year-old Mr. Fix-It. And he did a lot of simple fixings for elderly widowed women.
Nice. Okay.
And so those are just 2 examples of do not think that, it has to be a pharmacist that is going to be a good referral partner, or it has to be a financial advisor. It absolutely can be anybody. I also had I helped an HR person at it's called Brewer Science, and they do engineering. That's nothing, but every business, every professional has the potential to have seniors that are on Medicare. So talk to anybody and everybody about what you do and how you help seniors.
Yeah.
That is my first piece of advice. And then the other thing is just seek them out. Ask to take them out personally, one-on-one, to coffee, to lunch, and again, just talk about what you do. And I feel like if you take that time, it's a whole different B2B mindset of, I could call somebody, I could knock on somebody's door, get a sale right then and there, maybe, or you can take the time to build a relationship with an estate planning attorney or a financial advisor. Tell them about what you do, build that level of trust there, and then every time that financial advisor has somebody that's turning 65, they're going to say, hey, I've got an expert, and let's talk to them.
I love that. How many times did you say on average do you have to reach out to somebody before they say, okay, yes, let's go have lunch, let's go have coffee?
A lot of times just once. I mean, if you put yourself in those networking groups, if you're in the chamber, if you're in Rotaries, if you are in BNI groups, any of those, I guess, community groups, those people love to do that.
Sure.
They are in those groups because they like networking. They like having one-on-one coffees and lunches and happy hours with whoever, just talking about your businesses. And also, don't be selfish, Obviously, it's a two-way street. Everybody loves to talk about themselves. So, yes, ask, say, I want to tell you how I help seniors, but also ask, I'd love to learn about what you do. And hopefully we can maybe, be good referral partners, or maybe it's just a one-way street. Be honest about it, but at least be genuine in what you want to learn what they do also.
Yeah, and again, always showing, what I always say with referral partners is that they have tattooed on their forehead, what's in it for me.
For sure.
So if you go into them just saying, I write business, this is what I do, I want to help seniors, doing that, the person needs to understand what is it in it for them. What is in it for them?
Do you hear, from an industry-wide that it's financial advisors that are, the biggest referral partners, or is it pharmacists?
I think it's I hear about the really strong relationships, and the strongest relationships I'm having right now are going to be pharmacists and the financial planners. However, some interesting things are happening in the financial planning field anyways. Again, post-COVID and what the world's coming to. A lot of the financial planners are actually joining the Medicare market. A lot of the new trainings I've been doing with people, a lot of them have been financial planners. And so, I'm trying to see more of like, people actually wanting to take on the business themselves. And so there's a conversation we had there.
Interesting.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite financial partners that I was working with, the D-SNP market is probably the best for, not financial planners, but for the referrals. Yep. and being, a trusted source for that D-SNP and those areas are great. One of my favorites was actually a person working with a gym and their personal trainer.
Yeah,
they did they did joint seminars together. Personal trainer talked about how to stay healthy and mobility, and then the agent talked about Medicare programs and like the wellness stuff that comes with Medicare.
That's interesting. I have a meeting we've rescheduled, but it's next week with he's a personal trainer that specializes in seniors. So, I mean, again, there's so many different professionals out there that you could partner with. Yeah. Or, maybe it's your best friend's mom. Mm-hmm. That's a good... Yeah. I mean, just talk about what you do, and I feel like that's the best thing for your business. The best advice. I love that. So, again, guys, this is an Ask Us Anything. We have time for a few more questions, so make sure, again, our text line is right here. Feel free, when you text that, you're texting me and Carrie. We're reading those live. Or, of course, comment on the page as well. Got a question that says, how do we determine if we are watching this live or recorded? It should say, well, you're watching it live. Yeah. I think, unless you're watching a recording. That was not helpful. But it should have in the corner, like it should have a little button that says live and say how long we've been live. So you should be seeing like a red button here. A red button here that says live and the amount of time that we've been going live for. So you should be seeing that. But again, if you're not watching this live, you're not answering. I did not answer your question. Joe asked the question, do you give out referral fee like $25 per referral to a referral partner in those BMI groups? Not BMI, BNI. BMI. So in the BNI group, specifically, you don't have to pay anything for each referral. Mm-hmm. You pay like, at least in the ones here locally in Columbia, Missouri, it is like $1,000 plus a month. Oh. And sorry, that was a live reaction. With that, like, you have to meet, there's different times that different groups meet, but my group met every Wednesday morning for 2 hours. A weekly commitment for 2 hours, that's huge. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to be fully committed. But that's also part of the good thing, and I'm here just like pitching BNI. I'm not even in it anymore. But like, if you have that big of an investment in it, like, you're going to do it. You're going, and so you have people that are seriously committed. That's a good point. And like, that threshold is only going to be people who are truly committed and really want to grow. Right. And honestly, like, again, in the ones here, I think all the groups are a little bit different, but you have, it's like, I forget what it is. You have a minute or something, each person at the beginning of each, I almost said each episode, at each meeting, you have a minute to say what you do, say your name, and say what you're looking for that week. So, like, I might say, I'm Carrie Vogt with Senior Benefit Services. I help seniors with their Medicare, and this week I am looking for somebody to connect me to an HR benefits person. Like, ooh, and then, you think outside the box. And so somebody, the other 30 people are thinking like, who do I know that's in HR? Yeah. Yes, I do Medicare, but they might not be thinking of, this person in HR unless I would have asked that. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense and a really creative use of that resource. And again, like, just getting around people who are goal to grow versus like a lot of those groups, I find a lot of people find that it is busy, not productive, but they feel like they're working. Yeah. So I love that. My 2 cents as far as pay per referral, I again, different from a BNI group, but as far as just being like, hey, I'm going to do this for every referral you send me, I'll give you $25. I am a super advocate against that, because the quickest way to burn bridges and the quickest way to hurt a relationship is to add finances to it. And there's always going to be a discrepancy. So being like, well, I sent you these people. Well, these people didn't tell me that's who you sent. So no, I didn't sell them because of your relationship. There's always some discrepancies. So making sure that you're finding value outside of money invested into it. Like yours with your financial planners, you don't pay them at all. No. But you say, okay, well, I will advocate for you as their financial planner and also sell the Medicare, so they're not going to go shopping for somebody who does it all and you lose your financial business. Absolutely. And I think on the financial standpoint, one of the ways I like pitch it, you know, I'm not paying them.
Mm-hmm.
But they love that they talk about how, you know, I'm part of their team.
Mm-hmm.
I am extra depth on their bench
Mm-hmm.
of, you know, they can provide all of these services, and here's our Medicare expert.
Mm-hmm.
It's not costing them anything. It's not costing their client anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I'm not paying them, but I'm giving them free knowledge.
Right.
And helping their clients.
Yeah, same page. We didn't even discuss it ahead of time. Same page. Got time again. We want to wrap this up at 10:30, so we got time for maybe one or two more questions. Again, if you have any text messages, again, text us. This number here is directly to us, or comment on the YouTube video. I did get a question that we're going to get a lot more conversation about this, but right now a lot of people are turning to social media and turning into, you know, like, again, we know that COVID bumped up the use of Facebook, and of course I'm seeing a ton of content on TikTok. I'm seeing a ton of content on Snapchat. Oh, it is. I love it. But TikTok, again.
I don't have TikTok.
I'm going to tell you probably need it.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. It's because, no, your seniors, your over 65ers may not be on TikTok, but their caregivers are. And the people who are looking out for mom and dad are. So I've seen some agents that are doing some TikTok videos and literally just raking in leads from TikTok.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm. And it used to be like,
gosh, I can't keep up.
I know. I don't even have TikTok downloaded on my phone.
No, I've never seen it.
I don't want to do it. It's a waste of time, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm looking at this other content. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, yeah, no, your seniors are not on there, but their kids are. And, you know, neighbors and loved ones and people trying to learn this. So, yeah.
I do Facebook, and I do some ads and promote if I make like a video. I'll usually boost those.
So I do want to kind of get into that. So there's Facebook advertising, and then there's Facebook boosting.
Oh yeah, okay, wait, I don't do the ads. I do the boost.
So those are completely different things, and honestly have like completely different goals of like when do you, but both invest money.
Teach me. What are the
one
differences?
Is super cheap, the other one is super not cheap.
Oh.
So so again, for you guys, if you have any more questions on this, again, there's our text line. I'm going to go into a little bit more about using social media, investing money into social media. Facebook. Again, there's TikTok, there's all that other stuff. Girl, we don't have the time. Facebook. So there's, again, when you have your Facebook business page, you can either boost a post or you can do advertising. Advertising traditionally with Facebook has been more like doing a lead drop. Like traditional Facebook ads are things like they don't talk about your agency name. It's basically like, do you have Medicare questions? Fill out this lead page. Like an advertisement, the call to action is to fill out information like a lead page and to get, you to get in front of a new client. They're more expensive. They're much more highly, like you can change everything from like all the analytics. You can invest a lot of money into it. But there's a lot of ways to make mistakes. And there's a lot of training out there about like how to properly do a Facebook advertising. But everything's gonna differ from like, did you use the word to instead of with?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it's like, did you target 55-year-olds or 50-year-olds? Is this gonna cost you $700 or is this gonna cost you $20? And so traditionally when we said like do Facebook advertising, traditionally I've always said use it like any other lead source. Do not do it yourself. Outsource your Facebook leads.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of that has changed because of the recent McMag, where you had to basically keep all lead generating sources on record for 10 years. And traditional Facebook companies or Facebook leads will not give that to you because they think like, well, if you see what it is, you'll just make it yourself.
Oh,
so we're changing a little bit on that. Going to be doing some more like, here's how you drive your own Facebook advertising. But Facebook ads is not a, here's my agency, here's what I do. It's not like a billboard. I will say that. Your Facebook advertising is not a billboard. Yeah. It's genuinely like a mail drop. It works the exact same way, and it costs a little bit more than your traditional mail drop.
For me, how Facebook has been the best is if I make a video or a special post or whatever it is, I have had more success than boosting, or I don't think I've done advertising.
If you did, you would know.
I would know. Okay.
Yeah, you would know.
The most success I've had is by having my go-to people, my best friends, my family,
organically,
and a couple clients that I trust and want to promote me also. I reach out to them and say, hey, I just posted a video. Can you please share it?
I love that.
Ask the people that love you and support you because you're reaching, if they share it, I feel like a share goes a lot farther.
It does.
Than a comment or whatever it is.
It absolutely does. And so like what you're talking about being that boosted post, what a boosted post is going to be basically I made this post. Like you said, videos are the best ones to do that with. I made this video explaining what is Part B of Medicare and how does it work. Shorter, less than 5-minute videos typically do best. I'm going to, in order for somebody to see that content, they have to like or subscribe to your Facebook page. What boosting a post does is get that content, that one post, in front of individuals of a certain demographic who have not quite liked or commented or have not interacted with your page in the past. The purpose of a boosted post is to build brand recognition and get more people to get in front of more people and to get more people to like your Facebook page and to interact with you. That's the purpose of a boosted post. So you're not necessarily the goal of a boosted post is not lead generation like an Facebook ad is. It is truly just interaction, building name recognition, and getting in front of more people. Now, it does cost money. Boosting costs a lot less typically than advertising, but what you said exactly, boost the post, but again, help that ad grow or help that post grow organically by having people share it, like it, commenting it, get your trusted people, because that's whenever more people interact with that post, it'll show up more often on your social media feed.
And that's something that like the networking groups I was in, or even just like with some of my close friends that run their own businesses too, ask them like, hey, I know you're a realtor,
right?
But when I make business posts, can you share them for me and I'll share yours? Like it's, to me, I feel like just using those close resources.
That's what they're there for.
Yeah. We did have a question about is Craigslist worth bothering with?
And hi, Terry.
I do not know anything about Craigslist.
So my personal take, and this is not anything that's supported by any research whatsoever, okay? But I'll be very honest to say that. Craigslist, kind of in the same group as Facebook Marketplace, but more so with Craigslist, cheapens a brand.
You can put services on there?
You can.
See, I didn't even know that.
But, like, you can also put services on there and wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
So, like, there's no policing. There's no, it's the Wild West. I mean, like, you can literally sell day-old socks if you wanted to on there. So, having your name associated with Craigslist will actually cheapen your brand and being like, oh, like, I saw, it's like, whenever you see, like, funny advertisements for certain, like, clothing stores, I'm like, oh, like, I saw them in a Craigslist ad. Like, that's not a compliment. That's not a compliment to say, oh, I saw them on Craigslist. That's a good point. So I do feel like it is, again, I've subscribed to the idea of the more places you are, the more places you can be seen, and that's always a good thing.
Right.
But you do need to be conscious of, like, what does that location and does that cheapen and what does that speak to your brand? So keep that in mind as well.
I agree. I never thought of it like that. And I didn't know you could put services on there.
Yeah, a lot of them will use it for the services.
I don't think we have any more questions on text.
Okay, well.
Did you have any other pre ones?
A couple more, but what I would love to do is answer some of these questions in the Facebook group and just, have some videos posted on there, just some additional questions that came in, because we are out of time today. But if you guys liked this format of the Ask Me Anything, let us know. You can text the Medicare Cafe, even if you're not watching a live video. Feel free, again, that texts me directly. So if you have any questions or have any thoughts on the show or have any topics you would like to talk about, text this number. Let me know what you think. But I really enjoy a lot of these open format questions. Because I feel like we get to pay attention to what you guys are truly interested in.
Absolutely. Maybe like a once a month, once a quarter thing.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Plus, I just like not having to prepare. That's kind of my favorite part.
I don't have to that much. You do that, so I can't speak to that.
I'm
blessed that you do it all.
I do less than I should, if I'm being honest here. Here's my toxic trait is I don't prepare for things. So this is right up my alley.
Hey, we're always ready to go on Tuesdays, right?
No one said anything different.
You get it done.
No one said anything different. So again, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with myself and Carrie again. Make sure you join our like our Facebook page for up-to-dates and like to know what we're going to be talking about. Make sure you join our Facebook group to interact with other agents like yourself and to make sure you're getting up-to-dates with all the cool things going on with our industry. Do you have any last final words of wisdom?
Love the Ask Me Anything format.
Good. Oh, and Bob. I talked to Bob yesterday. Bob, I'm the Olivia. this is the Carrie. I know you were asking yesterday which is which. Tis
Yeah,
I,
you talk
Olivia.
to her,
Yes.
not me.
So
I'll
awesome.
gladly talk to you, though.
Oh, yeah, I'll talk to anybody. I just, sometimes people more like run the opposite way from me.
Oh,
So.
brother.
So again, ask us anything. Let us know how you think about that. Thank you, Bob. We will see you next time. Thank you guys so much for playing along with us. We'll see you next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for our next Medicare Cafe topic. So until then, have fun.
Make money.
And give impeccable service. Thanks, guys. Okay, now watch. Stop streaming. Here's that question. Are you sure?